Hey everybody, it's Emma. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm just putting some makeup on. So I really want to play more with this liquid catsuit liquid eyeshadow from Wet n Wild. It's part of their Goth collection. This is in the shade Goth Tears. Just the stupidest name ever, but whatever. It's beautiful, duochrome. It's got this kind of lavender, baby blue, pink thing going on. So I want to have this kind of be the focus of my look today. Also be pulling in this Kristen Leanne Urban Decay palette because I'm absolutely in love. All right, I'm going to start as always with some eyeshadow primer. This is, of course, the Wet n Wild, I'm in a weird mood apparently, the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus, which I'm on my third tube of it, which doesn't necessarily sound like a lot, but considering it takes me like a year to use this up, you know, it's pretty much been my go-to eyeshadow primer. And I'm finding that it's maybe not working for me as well as it has in the past. I don't know why. I don't think they've changed the formula or anything. I mean, it's possible just my skin has changed. I don't know what's going on. But if you have recommendations for a good eyeshadow primer for oily lids specifically, you know, like I've heard that the Milani one's really great, but more for dry lids. I've heard good things about the Ulta one, so I might give that a shot. So I'm going to start, actually not with any of the products that I've mentioned so far, with this Wet n Wild Petallete palette. I'm going to be using this kind of pinky lavender as the base for this eyeshadow. Now you could technically wear this on its own, but it can be a little bit patchy, a little bit sheer. I really think of it more as a top coat than anything, so I do want to put a little something down first. And this is going to just give a little bit of a boost to the pink that is in the Wet n Wild. I'm putting this on with a $1 e.l.f. eyeshadow brush because it's awesome and I still have it and it's still great. I've had this, I think, for 4 years. Still holding together. One of the best dollars I've ever spent. Staying with that Petallete palette, I'm going to run a little bit of this matte mauve color, still very lightly over my crease. Not necessarily in it, more over, just to give something the Kristen Leanne palette that I want to accent with. It's mostly shimmers. There's an orange matte, which actually could probably accent this nicely, and a black matte, which might be a little intense. So just gonna blend that around first. Now I'm gonna take a shading brush from Real Techniques and go into Dye, which is purple. It's a really beautiful purple. I'm going to start working that into the crease and outer edge. Even though this isn't necessarily a blending brush, it's quite dense and stiff. I definitely find it's better for placing shadow. These shadows are so soft and beautiful that you can pretty much blend it out. Start dragging that towards the inner corner. Ditto on the other eye. I'm going to take an e.l.f. crease brush and lightly blend out the edge, both eyes. Alright, and then I'm going to take that liquid catsuit. It's kind of a flat doe foot applicator. And take that crease brush and go into Spitfire, which is a blue-based pink. And I'm going to use that to blend out the outer edge, kind of all the way around, just because I think it looks pretty. And then I'm going to take a small angled brush, this one's from Real Techniques, and go into 13th Floor, which is a matte black. I'm just going to lightly stamp that into the lash line. I don't necessarily want it to look like eyeliner. Using an eyeshadow will help it make it look a little softer. All right, I'm gonna skip around. I'm gonna put my base on and stuff. I'll be right back. All right, so I have my base on now. I used a mix of the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation, which every time I use it, even though it's always cut with something so the shade is right, I'm amazed at how freaking awesome that foundation is. I cut it with some of the Buxom Weightless Skin Foundation, PhotoFocus concealer under my eyes, set it all with the PhotoFocus powder. Now moving on to blush. I'm using the blush in this Wet n Wild Blush and Glow Trio in Sunset Junction. Alright, so the highlighter I want to use is White Raven. This is not the most natural looking highlighter, as you can see. It has a white base, so even though I'm pretty pale, I can still leave a little bit of a weird cast, but you know what? Sometimes that's fun. I don't really care. And I love the skull imprint. It's really cute. This is a small tapered brush from e.l.f. Hopefully you can see this highlighter has an interesting duochrome lilac pink, almost blue thing going on. I don't have anything quite like this. I mean, there are some similar highlighters in Wet n Wild's collection. I'm thinking specifically of the Halo Goodbye and Halo Graphic, although that has a lot more purple. This is more kind of pinky blue, and obviously a powder rather than a liquid. I'm going to finish up this lower lash line. I'm going to take that small angled brush again, super lightly tap off from 13th floor. I just want to bring that a little bit to the outer corner. I'm going to take the accent brush from Real Techniques. Blend that towards the inner corner, really softening that up. And I'm going to take a little bit of dye, that purple, on the accent brush. Layer that at the outer corner. Again, dragging towards the inner corner. Hopefully not quite making it. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Brixton, just because it's here. I could use White Raven, the highlighter I just used, but this is a similar-ish sort of color. This is one of the duochromes in this palette. They're both fabulous. Bring that around the inner corner. So this one has a little bit more of that kind of pinky thing going on. And miracle of miracles, I'm actually going to curl my lashes before I put mascara on. And then for mascara, I'm using Perversion from Urban Decay. And just to keep it going with the Urban Decay theme that I have going on, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Vice Lipstick Palette. Now, I got to be honest, I have really not been into lip pretty much anything. If I have worn a lip color, it has been Beetroot from Bite Beauty, which I talked about a couple videos ago. Beautiful, it's awesome. But I really have not been using lipsticks, anything other than lip balms. So I'm just going to put something very low maintenance and light on my lips. I think I'm going to go with Vanished, which is a kind of sheer nude. It looks concealer lippy in the pan. And it could probably go there, but it's sheer enough that it works. And I have to say, I really like the kind of lilac-y purple eye with a really nude lip. This, by the way, is a $1 e.l.f. concealer brush, but I really like it for lips. My lips are pretty thin, so I don't need a giant brush. It's really short and dense, so I feel like it spreads product on really well. I feel like a lot of lip brushes are quite long and flexible, and I have a hard time using them. So this is really perfect. I hate it for concealer, so, you know, I'm happy to be able to use it at all. It's a good look. How about that? I think I might need a bang trim. So there we have the finished look. I love this. This is kind of one of my go-to sort of looks, if that makes sense. I love it, the kind of pale purpley lavendery sort of thing, nude lip. I dig it. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to watch this. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, comments, requests, smart remarks, you can leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.